A big hello and welcome to the latest edition of Mancunia TV, live from the centre of Manchester, Mancunia Arts Centre. We're back with another great show, Manchester's original, best and first grassroots rock and roll TV programme. I'm Dave Sweetmore, and as always, we've got a great night of entertainment lined up for you tonight. We've got MC Tunes with the tunes. We've got live music in a bit from Corvus and the Morning Star. We've got an absolute living legend with us, George Borowski and Maura. Leon the Pig Farmer's going to be here in his spoken word corner, and he's got a really special guest with us tonight. And we are going to be talking to author Nigel Cartner as well. But first and foremost, because we are in Manchester, and we are grassroots, and we are rock and roll, we have a live studio audience. To start off the night, though, we'd like to welcome one of the best up-and-coming bands at the moment. It's an absolute pleasure to be welcoming him to you through Mancunia TV. This is the Sprats.
Feel sand. You say it's harder, I'll get a better time. I stare at space, you view a screen. You say it's great, I see cosmic blue and great. You say that you never wanna jump in. How are you gonna finish your pain? Yeah. Now you don't even wanna get close. And how can you when your eyes ain't yours? Feel that clear, listen to it right, yeah, my darling. And what you have, feel that clear, listen to it right, yeah, my darling. And what you have, no, 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 no. Now you say that you never wanna jump in. How are you gonna finish your pain? And now you don't even wanna get close. And how can you when your eyes ain't yours? Now you say that you never wanna jump in. How are you gonna finish your pain? And now you don't even wanna get close. And how can you when your eyes ain't yours?
Yes, Mancunia TV, let's hear it for the Sprats. Bradley,
How you doing?
how you doing? So this is your Mancunia TV debut. For those that are in the audience or those watching at home, tell us about the Sprats.
We're we're a new rock and roll band upcoming. We're from Rochdale and Burnley. We've had 2 songs out last year. We've got more coming this year. Yeah, we've got that one that we just played. That's out soon. So be ready for it.
Is your music available on all the usual streaming sites, Spotify and stuff like that?
Indeed, it is.
And what about live gigs? What gigs have we got coming up we can look forward to?
On the 10th of March, we're at Off the Square, I believe. It's going to be a good gig. We're there. And then in April, we're doing one in... You know about that, don't you?
I know about all of them.
Yeah, he knows about them all. We're doing one in... Where is it?
Littleborough.
Littleborough. We're doing
Charity
one there.
event. It's me, you, the Blue Tones,
I don't know anything.
Clint Boone. The best thing to do, I think, is follow them on social media. Where can people find you on social media?
Alex knows where. No, I don't. On Instagram, at the Sprats Band, we're on that. We're on TikTok as well. We're on don't follow us on Twitter, please. Don't follow us on that.
I think you get the impression, don't you? Mancunia TV, let's hear it for the Sprats. This is what Mancunia TV is all about, supporting brand new bands. That's what we do every single month. So make sure you give all the bands we've got on a follow on the socials, even if they don't know where they are. If you just look for the Sprats, I'm sure they'll find them. Okay, we're going to go over to the interview corner with Nigel Cartner. A massive thank you to the Sprats and, as always, to MC Tunes for keeping the studio alive while we moved over to the interview corner. You are watching Mancunia TV, live from Mancunia Arts Centre. Our next guest is a man who's brought a brilliant couple of books out, Author Nigel Cartner, to tell us more about the books. Let's hear it for Nigel.
Cheers.
Now, before we talk about these two books you brought out, first of all, tell us about Nigel Cartner, about your background in music, film, and the creative world.
Yeah, so I always wanted to work in music and write something from being like in my late teens, early 20s, and never really found the means to do it. But suddenly just like fell by chance into Mudkiss fanzine. Don't know if anyone ever remembers that one. Yay. Yeah. So I started writing for them and, interviewing bands and reviewing bands and, really enjoyed it. Started getting on the gig scene, meeting a few people, some of who are still here today, who I might become good friends with. And then Mudkiss sadly fell by the wayside, and then out of the ashes was born Sonic Bandwagon. And there was a few of us who did that, and we did another fanzine, and we ended up on Pure 107.8 FM in Stockport. We had a radio show, doing a 2-hour show, bringing like new music to the forefront. And we did that for quite a few years, but in the background I was always kind of writing this book as well.
You've concentrated on the books, which we're going to talk about now. Yeah. Is new music something that's still important to you, or do you concentrate more now on the writing and the author side of it?
It is important. I'm always on the lookout for new music, and you know what the Manchester scene's like as well. As soon as you meet people, you know them for life. So yeah. I'm always kept up to date with what's new. What's coming out, but I don't tend to write a lot about music these days. Although I did review the Wenatchee a couple of months ago because they're good friends of mine. They asked me to do that. Yeah,
great band. Good friends of Mancunia TV as well.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk about the books then. Let's go to the first one. The first book you released was Lost in Manchester, Found in Vegas. Tell us about this book and how it came about.
So yeah, I had this burning desire to write a book, and I had no idea how to go about it, or I didn't really have the life experience. And then me and my friends went to Vegas back in 2010, and I just made this promise that I was going to write like the true story of what happened out there. So
I'm going to ask, how much of that trip is missing out of this book?
Quite a lot now.
I thought it might be, yeah. So what can people expect from this book? If they pick up this book, Lost in Manchester, Found in Vegas, what's it about? What's in it?
It's a lot of humour. It's about a lad from Manchester who's going through a bit of a tough time. He's split from his girlfriend, hates his job, and life just kind of passed him by a little bit. He's in his late 20s. So he goes to Vegas with a few of his friends in the hope that this 6-night crazy adventure is going to provide all the answers to the riddles of his life. But the answers are a little harder to come by than what he first thought. As you can imagine, a city as crazy as Las Vegas.
Is it true story? Is there much like real stuff in it, or have you exaggerated some of it a bit? What's the truth in it?
It's a bit of everything. There is a lot of truth to it. There's a lot of exaggerated moments in it. There's a lot of stuff that I've brought in from way back in my past that I've brought to the forefront, and there's a lot of made up stuff as well.
So when you brought this book out, you obviously brought it out. You wrote it for your mates and stuff like that. Did you expect it to be getting published and sold and?
No idea. No, absolutely no idea. It was meant to be a keepsake for me and my friends to have a bit of a laugh with, and then I just enjoyed writing it that much. I just thought there's a bigger story to tell here. There's a bit of fiction that I can add into it, and then I just never thought it would be like what it would become.
So you did that book, it went a lot bigger than you expected it to, Lost in Manchester, Found in Vegas. Next thing we know, how long after that did the next book come out, which was Lost in Manchester, Tour in America? Got a bit cocky then, didn't you?
I know, yeah. We got a bit bigger, yeah. Again, this is born out of like knowing people in the music scene. So I met a band called Mohawk Radio, who were from Stockport. I don't know if any of you have heard of them. And I become really good friends with them. They were really good friends at the radio station I was working at the time. And they got the opportunity to go on this development tour in America. And they asked me to come with them and do like a blogging tour of it. And like, as if I'm going to say no to that, it was like my almost famous moment.
In your mind at that point, did you know it was going to be a second book?
Yeah. As soon as they invited me, I just had the idea. But the first book had not even been released yet, so I had to change the ending so it fit into a sequel.
So the first one was Found in Vegas, Tour in America. How much tour in America did you do with the band?
So we were there for around 2 weeks. The band were there longer, I think, because like the logistics and the cost of it, we couldn't be there for the whole time. So we kind of met up and went away and came back and met up. So we started in Tucson, Arizona. They went off to play South by Southwest, and then we came back and we met in Los Angeles. And then we went on to Vegas, as you do, just got to go to Vegas, haven't you?
So you've already sort of hinted at the kind of stories that are in this. 6 lads from Manchester go to Vegas. What kind of stories were in this then?
This is more like a look at modern music scene, really. Yeah. It's about a band who are trying to make it like more in modern times and what they have to go through. And the lead character is thrust into the limelight of being their blogger, really, for the whole 2.5 weeks. He's thrust in at the deep end, doesn't really get on with the lead singer at first, so there's a bit of a conflict there. There's a bit of stuff that comes from the first book as well, which comes back. So, but really, essentially, it is a book about music.
When you were writing these 2 books, obviously a lot of it was from a personal perspective. I dare say there's a lot of stories in there about the lads, your mates, the lads in the band. Did they ask you to keep a fair bit out of it, or were it very much like, warts and all, go for it?
I changed all the names and I merged all the characters so that no one could know who was who. But, I mean, at the time, I think, if you've had, girlfriends, but thankfully they're not with them.
So were all the girlfriends all like, who were that? Who were that?
Yeah, I changed all the names so that wouldn't come back on them.
So was this as well received as the first one, would you say?
I think it's been received better. I think, personally, from the feedback that I've been getting, people said that the writing's more confident. Because I wrote it during lockdown as well, so it was a lot easier because I was furloughed, so I could have a right good go at it rather than, just kind of going at it a bit at a time.
I've not read these books, but they do sound really interesting and really funny and stuff as well. If people want to pick these books up, these Nigel Cartner books, Lost in Manchester, Found in Vegas, and Lost in Manchester, Tour in America, where can people get these books from?
They're both available on Amazon, or you can go through my website, which is njcartner.com. Or I'm on social media, Facebook, Instagram, I'll answer any kind of message and I'll, send you a book.
So you've done a couple of life stories almost here about mad adventures you've had with the lads and, of course, with a band as well. What happens next for Nigel Cartner? Is the next chapter of your life going to be in a book, or...?
Yeah, it's all mapped out. Actually, this Saturday I'm about to go to the Deep South in America and experience a 2.5-week tour there.
So who are you going there with then?
I'm going with my girlfriend this time. There's no band involved.
Is there a book involved?
There is a book involved. It's going to be the 3rd instalment of this one. It's going to carry on more from the 2nd book, so it will involve the band that are involved in this one. It's going to be set 10 years later.
You'll have to come back and tell us more about that one when you've done that one as well.
If I make it.
How long are you going for?
2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. He's not planning on coming back, is he? Definitely not. What about the future? Do you plan on writing, more books and stuff? Or do you think at any point you might go back to the music reviewing and, radio stuff? Do you think you'll ever go back to that?
Possibly. I mean, you can never say never, but I think at the moment I just want to get the 3rd book out. I do a lot of book signings in the run-up to summer as well, so you'll catch me in a lot of WH Smiths around the Greater Manchester area. Predominantly Trafford Centre is where we usually go.
Some of these stories, it sounds like it'd make a good film as well. Is there any chance of anything like that coming along?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm always open to something like that happening. A lot of people who read the books do say it'd make a really good film, especially the 2nd one. Everyone who seems to read it says, this should be made into a film. So who knows if the right person
Someone might be watching this now, might be on the cards. Yeah. So Nigel Cartner, NJ Cartner, the books are available online. Remind us once again where people can find you on the internet.
Yeah, so my website's njcartner.com. I will actually be doing blogs as well of this new adventure that I'm going along, so you can keep track of them. I'll be posting the links on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter. Just NJ Cartner, you'll find me. It's
brilliant what you're doing. Keep us up to date with what you're doing. Once again, the books are available. Have an amazing time in America. I'm sure you will. Don't need to say that to you. But good luck with it. NJ Cartner, Nigel Cartner.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
It's an amazing thing that people are doing here, for the young bands. Absolutely. This is what it's all about, really. We didn't have this in the 60s. Bands didn't help each other. Do what you can to help the other bands. It will grow, become the greatest city again for music.
Can we have that speech put up on the wall? George Borowski, 2023. Climb on. You ready, yeah? You are watching Mancunia TV live from Mancunia Arts Centre, straight in the heart of Manchester, bringing grassroots music, rock and roll and real-life TV to Manchester and all of the world. Don't forget, follow us on all of the socials, spread the word. This is exactly what it is all about. And a little bit later on in the show, if you want to be in the studio audience next time, I'll be telling you exactly how you can do that. Next up, though, I've got two people we're going to talk to before we let them play live for us. First of all, a real-life living legend. It's a pleasure to have him in the studio. Will you make some noise for George Borowski? What a man. Right, so 50-year career, over 300 songs.
Yes.
A national treasure, it's been said.
Well,
Yes.
well, maybe.
Where did it all start?
It started singing opera and listening to my mum singing to me in Russian and not understanding a word she was singing, but she was telling the truth about where she'd come from. So I'm sat on the potty, bawling. And what she said to me was, encourage, encourage, encourage. Somebody's going to write the song that's going to stop us all fighting evermore. That's the most important thing that there is. And that's where it started, really. That's how it started.
You were listening to your mum and that kind of stuff. What kind of music were you listening to as a kid growing up?
Nat Cole, Little Richard, Chuck Berry. My brother was a massive Fats Domino fan. So rock and roll was kind of the thing that went on the tape. The stuff that you get from 0 to 7 comes to you naturally when you come to write. If the world wasn't as it is, I'd just write music. But I got lucky. And songs came through. They're not mine, you know.
Have you ever been anything else? Everyone knows you for music and the career you've had and the amazing music you've given us. Have you ever done anything else, or have you just lived the life for music?
No, I've done loads of stuff. I worked in a Cantonese restaurant, cleaning the toilets. I was a betting office manager. I started off as a board marker and then I became a betting office manager. I worked on the markets, you know what I mean? Because if you worked on the market, you weren't letting anybody down if you had a gig, because you could go at 2 o'clock and nobody's going to sack you. And it's the same at the bookies, because we didn't start till 10:30 on a Saturday morning. So if you were driving back from Annan or wherever, you know, you could do that. But, you know, the thing is, it was fantastic because we were doing it for this, not for this. That's why we were doing the music. We just wanted a better place. You know, the 60s, they really wanted peace, everlasting peace.
You've given us some amazing music over the years. We can only talk to you for 5 minutes. We could quite easily do a full show at least with you. In the career you've had, which like I say has been 50 years, you've worked with some amazing people. What have been your highlights of the last 50 years in the world of music for you?
Well, standing on the stage with Maura, you can imagine what it could
We'll talk to Maura in a minute. We won't leave her out.
The people that have met her, these people here, Trish, Kim, Stephen here, astonishingly talented people, right? Bringing the light. My biggest moment, 2. I got asked to sing by somebody, asked me to come and sing his songs, my songs, for when he was dying. You cannot go any higher as a performer, because there's no showtime, and they really know if you don't mean it. Because at that point when somebody's dying, he's like 6 stone. What an astonishing thing to be asked to do. 10 Glastonburys, that's okay. You cannot go any higher than that. If they'd have taken, possibly, Amy Winehouse to Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital, and a little bairn looked up and said, you know where I am, have you got anything for me? Maybe she'd still be here. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to give people time out. It's the greatest honour to be able to stand here and play for you all, because you do all the extraordinary things every single day. All of you. Look after each other. That's all you have to do. Look after each other. Carry each other. When you get tired, hold your hand up and ask for some help. People will come.
What a man. What a man. We've spoke about music. I'm going to come to Maura in a minute. We've spoke about music. One thing I do want to ask is both on camera and off camera. You've given us probably one of the best endorsements we've ever had in 4 or 5 years of doing this programme about, you know, the fact that Mancunia TV is supporting new music and grassroots music. And from someone like yourself who's had such a huge career, it really is an endorsement. I've got to ask you, though, do you still keep up to date with the new music of 2023?
As much. I should use this really, shouldn't I?
You'd think after 50 years.
You know he's putting the microphone up, but you get, you know, you talk too loud. Of course, whenever I can, I go. A lot of the times I don't get to see some of the young bands because I'm playing the same night. But I'm right there with you all, and I try. And go, oh, come on. I've heard 2 bands tonight on here. Unbelievable. We sat there like punching the air. There's a lass at the back there, Amanda. When she comes and sings it, she's going to absolutely blow your wig off. Right? That's what it's about, really. The highlights are that right now, people all over the world are writing songs that are saying, stop fighting, love each other, or do you want to dance? And if you stop fighting and love each other, you can dance all the time.
Can we start a petition to get George to run the country? Is that something we can do? George, I'm going to move on to your daughter,
Everyone
Maura.
else has had a go.
This is George's daughter, Maura. So, your dad, what a man, what a world of music. Is music pretty much, you've been brought up with it and that's naturally come to you?
Yeah, I think so. I was really, really lucky to have George as my dad, and also my mum is a tour manager in her own right, who's worked with some great people. And I just...
The boss then, yeah?
Yeah, the boss, absolutely. But yeah, it's I've been very lucky to be surrounded by lots of different, really talented, amazing people throughout my life, and they've all inspired me. And I've been very lucky that when I asked if I could come and join in, he said yes.
So growing up, you know, you listened to your dad, you listened to what your dad was doing, you listened to your dad's music as well. What about your influences? Did you find yourself listening to what your dad was into, the cool stuff of the 50s and 60s, or did you find your own kind of like path in the world of music?
I'd say it was both. I mean, I remember my dad introducing me to the Beastie Boys, but I also got really into like indie and punk. Like Green Day were my favourite band for years. From American Idiot, and sort of worked back and then carried on. But yeah, I'm quite eclectic. I like Florence. I really love 60s music. Love all that stuff. So yeah, a big mix. But he's shown me some good stuff as well.
Putting you on the spot, it's like this is your life, isn't it? Putting you on the spot now. Give me some good memories of your dad.
We used to go fishing a lot, and used to take me fishing down the canal in Macclesfield, and I've got a pretty short attention span, so fishing is not great. And we'd be up in front of the Puss in Boots pub,
Yeah, Puss in Boots.
and I would be up and down, getting crisps, getting Coke, making friends with everyone on the barges, making friends with all the kids, picking blackberries, anything except fishing, basically. And I would still catch more fish, and that used to really annoy him.
Every time.
Great guitarist, shit fisherman.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All the time.
Your musical career, you've got involved with your dad and stuff like that as well. Tell us about your life in music and performing. When did that start? And, tell us about some of the things you've done.
Well, before I sang with George, because I did that typical rebellious teenage thing, I was like, I'm not going to do what you do. So a friend of ours wanted a backing singer because he sort of recorded and played an album all by himself, and I wanted to do some gigs. So I did a bit of backing singing. He moved to America, and I'd got the bug by that point. So I asked George if he'd let me join the Fabs, and he very, willingly obliged, I would say.
Well, the reason is because when you were 4...
Here we go.
She's singing the entire Anastasia Freak of Nature album, note for note, and not missing it, right? So I thought, well, maybe you could do this later if you want to. And so, of course, when she asked to sing, it's an honour. There's hundreds of thousands of songs been written, amazing songs. Here, 2 people here. She asked to sing mine. How can I not be humbled? You know what I mean?
So how long have you two...
She's amazing and very, very modest.
He's amazing.
How long have you two been performing together live in front of an audience then?
I think
6
26. I look good for my age.
You do.
About 2016, I think we started. We did a few gigs. I think one of the first ones we did was Gulliver's.
Yes.
And we went and did the Narrowboat Sessions, which is like a charity online thing on YouTube for raising money for cancer research. We did that, and that was in 2016. And everything's a bit blurry before then, so let's say it started then.
So what does the future hold for the two of you performing live? Do you plan on, releasing more music? Do you plan on doing more gigs, perhaps a tour?
Yeah, we're going to do that. It's time that you release something. So we're going to do that.
I've
So
got
we're
a
gonna do
single
that.
out, but yeah, there's been an album in the works for a few years. It's just getting together.
Well, you're on camera now. You need to tell us when it's coming out.
Let's say this year, because it's only February.
So we're going to do that, and we're going to play some festivals. And
Yeah,
we're gonna
festivals, like you were saying,
Yeah.
it's hard to see other bands. So doing festivals is a really good one, because like tonight, you get to see some other artists, because you're busy as a musician.
I've been given this CD by our artist liaison lady, Georgina. Tell us about this. Is this available now, George?
It is. It's available whenever you want it, really. And it's just a few of the songs that we've written and songs that have come through me. As I say, if you want to buy them, fantastic. And if you haven't got a player, give it to somebody else as a Christmas present. You know what I mean? So that solves the problem straight away, And CDs are great. They really are. You can put flowers on them and stuff and all that. But it's what
This is from his days on the market, obviously.
It is, you're right.
Proper Del Boy.
It is a real pleasure and honour to have you both with us tonight at Mancunia TV, Mancunia Arts Centre. You are going to play live for us now. If I could just take your microphones off you. Thank you very much. Mancunia TV, it's a real honour to welcome George Borowski and Maura.
Thanks, David.
you so much. Hey, is he now?
You know,
Don't wreck the joint.
it's that excitable age thing.
Oh boy, are you going home alone? Maybe I should walk with you. Your girlfriend's by the phone. I don't like the look she gives you. I've been watching her every night, making a fool of herself, making a fool out of you. I've been around a while, wondering how to meet you. Sometimes I've heard a smile, but it never seemed to reach her. I could see why, girl, watching you losing your love, watching you losing your mind. Don't dance with her, dance with me. I just decided to play the queen of hearts. It's only you and me. Don't think I really need to ask you twice. Just once in a while a dream. It happens when you're not sleeping. A shake of the head and it's gone, leaving you well believing. Finding you like yourself in, finding you locking me out. Don't dance with her, dance with me. I just decided to play the queen of hearts. Chances come with you and me, you and me. Don't think I really need to ask you twice. And if you're looking for advice, you might as well know the dance.
Okay, Mancunia TV, let's hear it. George Borowski Mora. Now, normally at this point, what we do is we let the band do 2 songs and then we'd hand you over to Leon the Pig Farmer for the spoken word corner. But this isn't a normal show. This is George Borowski Mora. So I'm hoping at this point they're going to agree to do another one. George Borowski Mora, Mancunia TV, let's hear it.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. And I'll stay right to the end to see my friends playing. I always pay to get in. This is about you. Keep the faith. You're the only version of you that's ever going to be. How much more special can you be? My mum used to say, if you don't know the way, hold up your hands. And if you don't know the answer to the question, hold up your hands.
If you don't know the question.
I'm not well dressed, and I'll take your test, 'cause I'm still impressed if you're alright. I'm still 7 sugars in the coffee too. Is that all right? Well, this is your time. Are you gonna sleep or hold the line? Oh, hold up your head. To those who look so stern, how are they gonna teach if they won't learn? Oh, hold up your head. I know sometimes people get nervous in holding their hands up and joining in case somebody puts them on Facebook or Twitter. You know what I mean? Putting your hands up at the George Borowski Mora gig. These are the fabulous wonderfuls, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Swat on guitar, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Kim Turner on drums and vocals. The wonderful Mr. Stephen Wolf Edwards. The girl who goes out feeding the homeless, Miss Maura on her vocals, ladies and gentlemen.
And the person who wrote all these songs and is the reason we're here, Mr. George Borowski!
Well, I'm now well dressed, and I'll take your test, and I'm still impressed if you're alright. Then we are.
Mancunia TV, let's hear it. George Borowski Mora and the band. You know, we've been doing Mancunia TV for 4 years now, and MMTV as it was known before it, but I think without a doubt, we've just seen one of the highlights. Studio audience, we once again make some noise. George Borowski Mora and the band. You are watching Mancunia TV live from Mancunia Arts Centre. We're going to get the stage swapped over, and on the way it's our spoken word corner with Leon the Pig Farmer coming up. Tell us when you're ready, Nidge. I'm ready. You are watching Mancunia TV. A massive thank you to George Borowski Mora and an amazing band. Definitely one of the highlights of Mancunia TV over the years. Now it's time for our regular feature, our spoken word corner. A great friend of the show, big part of the team. Studio audience, will you please welcome the one and only brilliant Leon the Pig Farmer.
He normally asks me what I've got coming up and what I'm selling, but he didn't do it today. Anyway, I'm selling an album. The Dirt are releasing Agitator in April. That's me and the wife as Psychedelic Punk. And I've still got 2 books for sale, so if you want one, come and get them. Anyway, I've got a great artist for you today. It's Keith's brother, as he's known as, and he's going to do some storytelling and music. But before that, I've just gone back from 7 weeks in Japan, so I feel like I should tell you about Manchester that I saw the other day that I wrote about 2 years ago. So this is that. Are you all right round there? I see torn, trampled, frayed edges. I see the hand-me-down clowns parading in puddles reflecting neon, only 6 inches of water to drown. I see gift-wrap, gable and glamour. I see millipedes of mediocre, suggestives rebranding the bland. Listen to cash tills ring when you're sober. I see pissed in drains and cycle lanes. I see a whole new world of friction. Those are on phones and others roll stones on a flowered in everything that's bitching. I see cuts and bruises and nylon golds. I see violence hidden in niceness. Caravans of conforming cliches, bragging rights of replaced politeness. I see a cavalry full of lethargy. I see the gatekeeper sleep. Clones are on phones and others roll stones, not as showered in glory to me. I see cuts and bruises and nylon golds. I see violence hidden in niceness. I said there's caravans of conforming cliches, the bragging rights of replaced politeness. I see champagne socialists carry coffee chain cups. I see scripters devoid of senses. There's an axe made of wax that will melt in your back. It's thrown by tan leather clad tribute Elvis. And I see your nice clean tidy art. I see your walls of cream and magnolia. You're eating off steel, slate and dry drift wood. Will you still think this is trendy when you're older? And I see barricades to the indifferent. I see the old guard waving white cloth. The town tenants tantrum and they're telling tall tales. Are your rabbit eyes lost, locked or shocked? Are your rabbit eyes lost, locked or shocked? See, it's fashion above passion at all costs. See, fashion above passion? I think not, because fashion above passion can rot. Because I am sat where crack and smack once ruled. Another illicit activities ensued. A derelict warehouse, forgotten industry, and I'm now met with corporate chattery. There are vans on show still, not them of dibble. They are canvassing the coated in pale ale dribble. There's Instagrammers after instant grams, twattering twits, increasing fake fam. Vapors, fakers, turn-ups to knees. Those one stroke from turning Japanese. There are beards and sleeves with cider and gin. Those on craft ale till a new trend kicks in. But why is it called the cutting room square? Any association to your crap peaky blinder hair? Your bag and bag of dip, you're blind of it's substandard, mate. If this was the 90s, you still want a landed. I'm informed it's a centrepiece, a new public realm. This ain't Game of Thrones, there's no dragon at the helm. The copper green sentinels that depict history, more like a raising Manchester's empire, replacing it with commercial greed. Because here come the Hitlers invaded from bars and they're trying to monopolise with tables and chairs. They are the clever with booze from their stores. It's a public place, you muppet, and they know the score. It's a fine line ensuing from what I see, vying 4 fake profiles or a real ID. Some inflated egos, some low self-esteem. But this is the new ancoats of living, it's the island of dreams. But I tell you what, you can run, you can't hide. Here comes last man standing, selling swag and some snide. He's only after coins to catch buses or brew. But you think it's for digging, you say we to make him move. But the scene says internet pleasers, this ain't about them. It's the ever-expanding gentrified power dens. Because where once was identity and a city's heartbeat, it's replaced with aesthetics, conformity and sheep. You know, the city once had tables for dancing on, but now it's got pavements for sleeping on. Living under the shadow of the hacienda where the corpus and the doorways and the warehouses have become helpless shelters. A city that said it does things differently, but we're all now Burnham's vote commodity. A city with 2 multi-billionaire football teams, but the scores on the doorways are broken dreams. So if you go down in the city today, you are sure of a big surprise. If you look down on the streets today, there are people in disguise. Sleeping bags, cardboard box, there's ripped up jackets and shoeless socks. But this is where the greedy capitalists will have their picnic. Now, will you walk past or just drop 10 pence and not take their biscuit? Cheers. Thank you. I think they're in book 2, Don't Believe the Hype, which Nicky played earlier on. Thank you very much for embracing me as your introductory poet, spoken worder for the night. This isn't my night. This is Mancunia TV, and this is my guest poet for the night. Our storyteller is very brilliant. I've done a few gigs with him. He's going to do something different for us than what I've normally had on. He's going to do it with music, and he's brilliant. This is Keith's brother. Give him a round of applause, people.
Good turnout for Johnny today. It's every time the phone rings these days. Either someone's pegged it or a 50th in Dubai. All the old faces were there. Filling the boots on lasagna or a potato pie. Then there was that comment in the queue. So when's it your funeral then? Playing the Charlie Big Balls, wasn't he? With his buy-to-let and his Balenciaga trainers. They say the hole in your sleeve and the grain of your teeth, and the whites of your eyes turn yellow like an autumn leaf. Yeah, soon I hope. When's yours? Shut him right up, that did. They all know how far they can go, and know he was there when it really mattered. Like at Tottenham away in '86, when we took it to him in their own backyard. 100 of them, maybe more, steaming through the station doors. Fagin's gang in the North London sun. Young, fearless, scared of no one. You can't stick around if there's booze about. Johnny wouldn't have minded you sneaking out. That photo on his coffin, the Lacoste shirt and the button-down collar, and that smile, like he always knew something you didn't. A smile, a mile wide. He's dropped off the radar for years. Got trapped in the cycle, heroin, jail, back on it, then jail. He needed the routine, you see. He liked those same faces coming and going. It was the only place that he felt at home. Then out of the blue, he was back. After stuff. A bed for the night, then the week, then the month. Not that he ever slept. He'd be up cutting his hair at 3 a.m, then cutting himself like a microsurgeon. Careful, calm and precise. And you talk of Tottenham away in 86, when you took it to him in their own backyard. 100 of them, maybe more. Your little firm all out in force. Fagin's gang in the North London sun. Young, fearless, scared of no one. You're even scared getting the bus home now. It's like a committee meeting in your head trying to work out where your stop is. Yeah, 11 Zoom please, mate. And you remember your bus pass. And the driver analyses at arm's length, making you wait and wait. Does he not know you've just buried your mate? Thanks, you say. And you remember, no one really cares about Tottenham away. Not on the 197, they don't. You couldn't stick around if there's booze about. Not on these meds. First 2 weeks are the worst, he said. Keep taking him, he said. And you've not had a blackout since you woke up face down in the bus lane on Hyde Road, when you told everyone you'd been knocked down, but you'd stopped off on the way to your mum's just for a couple in the afternoon. Must have been hit and run, you said. One of those electric bikes. Or maybe a moped. Now you're on the 197 back down Stockport Road to the room you're calling home, with a stench of emulsion that never goes away, and that shared fridge with a combination lock, and that packet of Jaffa cakes with your name scrawled across. You used to dream about the drink. Now it's the sound of birds falling from the perch, and it's deafening. And of the one who fell and never hit the ground. No one ever knows why they do it. But you got a pretty good idea. So you'll say goodbye in that time-honoured way as the ache in your heart succumbs, and drink to your pal with a mile-wide smile, and if that moped comes, then it comes. So here's to Tottenham away in 86. And that flash of silver in the evening sun, the splash of red on the curb, when the roar went up and the police horse slipped down Seven Sisters Road. You and Johnny, you never budged an inch. It's just the one. Once you get off this bus. Thank you, cheers. Thanks. Cheers, thanks for that. Much appreciated. This, I've done, I don't know, like Jack said before, I think this sort of stories to music, I don't really know what they are, what I've done. I usually write stories and stuff, but put them to music. Someone described it as Mike Skinner's granddad the other day, which I took as a compliment. So this is the title track from the EP. It's called The Swimmer. Samantha takes you down to a place by the water, serving toast with avocado, an omelette filled with peppers, and her hair is so much darker than you ever could remember, and her hands are now tattooed with rings across each finger, and she stares just for a second, 'cause that's all that she needs, to see if it's been worth it, all this messaging for the past 2.5 weeks. And you want to hold her hand, well, that's probably a bit weird, and that's what she once called you, the time you wrote that card and left it on her desk just before English, and you saw it in a bag, so you know that she kept it. So you're out here treading water in Bruce Lee style pyjamas, just like when you was 12, hoping someone might notice. You've been watching her for months, scrolling through the timeline, through the holidays in Dubai and that wedding in the Maldives, but he's been missing from the photos. You work out about 8 years, so she's focused on the salon and her daughter's martial arts. Now you're walking by the lake and you want to ask her if she saw you that night behind the bowling green as she wraps herself around him, when her eyes clenched in the streetlight and you froze just like a statue, and you really wanted to save her, but she didn't need saving. Now she stares across the lake and she talks of her new Audi, how it cost her 15 grand, but she wants to change the colour, and her ex-boyfriend's still in prison for that thing he did in Thailand, and she still writes him letters, though she's not that really bothered. She spent a summer in Ibiza, had a thing with Brandon Block, and he still texts her on her birthday. She even gets a mention in his book. And then she asked the question, the one you always feared, where you have to make out that you've been interesting for the past 25 years. And somewhere in the distance, in the middle of the lake, a 12-year-old treads water. He gives his head a shake. The cold is starting to set in, and he feels a bit of a clown. And his Bruce Lee style pyjamas are pulling him further down. So you tell her that your parking runs out in half an hour. For the first time you start to think about what life would be like without her. And as your engine starts, you make the call and say the words aloud. Okay, Google, how do I delete an Instagram account?
I found a few articles on the Google Help Center that might answer your question. I sent them in a notification to your phone.
Something special. This is Keith's brother. I know he's on Instagram. I know he's got a Bandcamp account. Do you want to tell him?
It's on Bandcamp. If you Google Keith's brother, it's on Bandcamp, and it's an EP on there. So I think we've grossed over £11 in the last 2 years. So come on, it's doing really well.
Let's make it to 20. This is Keith's brother. He's on Instagram. If you look at me, you'll find him as well. Thank you very much for embracing spoken word and storytelling. Let's get back.
Thank you. Before you go anywhere, I'll tell you what, you've excelled yourself tonight with your guest, haven't you?
I always do. I've got more on the sleeve.
Have you got an ounce to sell? You've not been here for a couple of months.
I've got a couple of books to sell.
as it
And I've got
happens.
an album on pre-sale as well as The Dirt, but yeah.
What have you got? Let's have it.
I've got Talking Myself Out of Trouble, Mental Health, PTSD, and I've got Don't Believe the Hype, and it is a sequel. So it's my second book. And third one's coming, Haiku Tourist.
I'm sure you'll tell us about it.
I will.
Let's hear it, Leon the Pig Farmer and Keith's brother. A massive thank you to Leon the Pig Farmer and his guest Keith's brother tonight. You have been watching Mancunia TV live from the Mancunia Arts Centre, slap bang in the heart of Manchester. If you want to be in the studio audience for the next one, all you need to do is make sure you're following Mancunia TV across all of the socials. We record this at Mancunia Arts Centre the last Wednesday of every month. We'd love you to be in the studio audience. Now, before we close tonight and before we let the band play out for this edition of Mancunia TV, I'm just going to introduce you now to Charlie from Corvus and the Morning Star.
Hello.
How you doing, mate?
Been a while.
I know it has been a while. I don't see you pissed in a nightclub somewhere, so it's nice to see you. You know what I mean?
I know, it's probably the first time I've not seen you in Indy, to be fair.
Well, I know, yeah. Listen, tell us about the band. How long have you been knocking about now?
We've been going for a while now, but we've had a few lineup changes and we're giving it a good crack now, so we're working hard on it now.
What about music? Is any music available for anywhere yet? Or?
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff available on Spotify already, but we've just been recording our first EP in Scotland. That's coming out on the 14th of April.
Will that be available on all the usual streaming sites?
Everything. And we're doing some CDs as well. So.
What about live gigs? I know you've done a few live gigs here and there. What have you got coming up over the next few months, over the summer?
We've got Swan in Stockport on the 20...
Love how he looks at me because he ain't got a clue where we're fucking playing.
23rd?
So, yeah, March 23rd, Stockport.
23rd, Stockport.
8th, Liverpool, Jacaranda. 14th, back in Wigan for our debut EP launch. 15th at Pier
in Manchester, so we're doing
and then we've got some tours coming up. We can't say anything yet because we've got our blag our mates for those support slots, but we'll be on them.
It's lucky you're here, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the only reason I've joined.
If anyone wants to follow you on social media and stuff like that, where do they find you?
We're at
Hang on, is he right?
What did he say?
No, the question, right, is if anyone wants to follow you on social media.
No, it's CATS.
That's what I was about to say.
Band, yeah.
CATMS band.
Yeah.
Corvus and the Morning Star band.
You are going to play us out, but before you do play us out on this edition of Mancunia TV, when we do film this, we are live at Mancunia Arts Centre. We do have my old mate MC Tunes with us, and I think he's going to join us now as we close the show. Once again, if you want to be in the studio audience next time, just follow Mancunia TV on all of the socials. And here we go. And yeah, come last Wednesday next month. How you doing?
I'm all right, Dave. How are you?
It's been a good night, hasn't it?
Been fucking mint.
What's been your favourite part?
Him. What was that? The guy, the poet, the guy with the beats.
Oh, he's good, him, wasn't he?
What's he called? What's he called? Mint, absolutely mint. Blew me away. Thought it was very original. Like the beats, like the references, chuckling me bollocks off.
I could see a duet coming up at some point.
A duet with him any day.
You like a good duet, don't you?
I like a good chuckle.
We'd like to thank everyone tonight. We'd like to thank, first of all, George Borowski and Maura. How good were they?
Oh, yeah.
And the band.
Yes. What is that? Hold your hands up. Get your hands up. Get your fucking hands up. What a tune.
We'd also like to thank one of the best up-and-coming bands around right now for opening up for us, the Sprats. Leon the Pig Farmer and Keith's brother.
Always.
Nigel Cartner. MC Tunes.
Thank you very much.
And, of course, Crash Audio, Truster Fox, Georgina, Anton, Alex, and all the team that put Mancunia TV. And, hang on.
Let's not forget you, Dave. Let's give Dave a round of applause.
Thank you. Now, we film this every single month, and like I say, if you want to be in the studio audience, the last Wednesday of every month we're here, and what really, really makes it, as well as all the amazing guests, is the studio audience. A massive thank you to our studio audience tonight.
Thank you.
It has been a brilliant show from myself, MC Tunes, all the studio audience, everyone at Mancunia TV. We'll see you next time. Follow us on social media. Share this. We're going to play you out. Make some noise. Corvus and the Morning Star.
take you by your hand, show you how to love. I won't lie, my word come out. With a girl like you, I don't wanna lie, I don't want you to cry. One of us will pay the price. Let's have twice more control. Let's go back to the start. Let's go back to the start. Try again. I knew I loved a girl like you. Yeah, I said this before. Don't wanna say I wanna recreate feelings we had before. Let's not pretend the status quo again. Let's go back to the start. Let's go back to the start. But did we have to act more than Let's go back to the start. When we were friends, didn't have to pretend.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, Corvus and the Morning Star. That's it. Thank you for coming down. Have a safe journey home. We really do appreciate you coming supporting this every month. We are back here the last Wednesday in March. That's the next month, isn't it, March? All the details will be released soon. It's another top lineup next month. It'll all be announced on Facebook and all that on Mancunia TV over the next month. But thanks to all the bands, thanks to everyone, mainly yourselves for coming down. Yeah, take it easy. Good night. Thank you.